where is Bitcoin going to from here? And this analysis is going to be pure price action analysis. And please, if you hear echo, please, I am in the office and I'm actually doing this analysis from the office. So do bear with me if the background is somehow echo. Do reduce the volume of your speaker. So please, and that is also if you're using earpiece, please do lower down your volume because this might echo a lot. Now, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, and if you've been following my analysis, you know that I my analysis is mostly play out 2 weeks, like 2 weeks or a week or so. So I always give you a brief of what to expect for a while because mostly it's weekly chart, daily chart, or monthly chart that I work with. So this analysis is not for short term. So if you're looking for short term, though I'm going to give you a brief explanation of what to expect in the short term, but our major focus is going to be on probably what's going to happen for the rest of June and July. So here is what I'm saying. Now we're going to start this analysis with the monthly chart because that's where the threat is, right? That's where I'm seeing the threat in my situation here, in my opinion. So let's go to the monthly chart so that I can show you what I'm saying. All right. Now, if you look at this monthly chart, it's less noisy, right? Now, what I'm seeing right now is a three-bar reversal, right? Now, pure price action. Let's start with the candlesticks. Let's just forget every other thing, but look at this candlestick. Now, these three candlesticks, these three candlesticks is one of the most dangerous reversal candlesticks you know, right? Now, the funny thing about this candlestick is that this current month also broke the low of recent. Bitcoin just broke it today. Bitcoin broke the low of last month, right? We saw the low of this month going as far down as 28,600 to 28,700 zone. Now that is not a good thing, right? So we want that if Bitcoin were to respect the lines we've been having, then 30K shouldn't be broken, right? Right. Since the last time we dropped last month, we touched around Bitcoin touched around 30K and we had a bounce, right? So I expected Bitcoin to play along, right? And we don't have this low breaking the low of last month. But unfortunately, we just broke this low, and that's what really prompted me to come and do this analysis because my last analysis I talked about we getting a bounce to somewhere around 46K. Now we got a bounce, but the bounce didn't make it to my 46K to 56K, 54K area, right? So the bounce somehow got rejected around 41K. Now the question is, are we going to get another bounce? Yes, we're going to get another bounce, but not after we've seen a down move, right? So right now we see that we're going to likely see a down move. Now let me show you why I say we're going to likely see a down move. If we go to the weekly chart, we find out that we are still within the support area, right? So you see the reaction of this area. Now, support and resistance, I always say, is an area. For me, is an area and not a line like this. Like it's not a line. So this is not what I want. It's not a line. So I know that you can see the reaction of what happened when Bitcoin gets to this area, right? This whole area. You can see that we started having some sort of weeks, right? Like you can see the reaction here, and you can see the same thing happening. Now, Bitcoin dropped in price to come. Let me adjust this my line. Okay, all right. Now, Bitcoin, we have something that looks like a double bottom here, right? Like something like this, right? Now, the question is it going to bounce or we're still going down? That's a good question. Now, this rejection right here, this two-bar rejection right here, is not a good thing for Bitcoin. And what we're seeing here is on this is the weekly chart. Now, if I should take a major move, now what we're seeing is not as if we're not going to go up anymore in this market. No, we're still in a bull trend. But what we are seeing is a breakout on the monthly chart. If you followed my analysis from April 1st, I made that post while Bitcoin was still around 64K and we're going to 40K and 30K. And from that April 1st to now, that is it. This is the month, April. From that April 1st to now, Bitcoin has not made any upward move above all-time high. We've been on the downside. So congratulations if you started shorting with me, because I know that analysis was one that so many people didn't resonate with, and I understand because everybody was bullish at that time. So it was hard for you to really believe that we could drop this far. And we're still on the downside, and I'm still short. I've been shorting since that point, and we're still short. Now the thing is, now, some of us are really still stuck in this market, and I understand. So, if you're asking me, Bitcoin Gorilla, are we going to get a bounce? Yes, just but not just yet. Now, this market is going to need a lot of patience. This is not the time to buy yet. This is not the time to jump or get FOMO yet. No, because as long as on this monthly chart we are having this three bar reversal, we are going to still have another red down. Now, here's what I'm saying. This is the main first support. Why? Because of this parallel trend line, right? So I expect a reaction around here. So the next month, so June and July is going to be red. June and July is going to be a month where we struggle to get a support, where Bitcoin bulls are going to struggle to hold this support. So between June and July, we're going to find our way to around that 20k to 26k to 20k area, right? We're going to find ourselves diving down to that point. Now, you're going to ask me, is that where we're going to expect a bounce? Can we expect Bitcoin to start moving from there? Now, the chances of Bitcoin moving from there is high, right? Because why? We have the all-time high the last time on the monthly chart. Now, this is a higher time frame analysis. I'm trying to tell you what to expect for the rest of the 2 weeks left, for the rest of June and the beginning of July. In fact, for the real play out. That's what you're going the first 2 weeks of July and the rest of June, right? This is what you're going to expect. We're going to have this journey that is going to drive us to somewhere around 20k, right? If worst case scenario we come to the low of this point, which is around the 16k. So there is a real area of support around here, around that 20k to 21k. But 26k is an area of support as well. I see that because of weekly chart, not monthly chart. But in terms of monthly chart, we're talking about 20k, right? Now, here is what I see. I talked about this in my last analysis, and it's not something that so many people are going to actually resonate with. But if you're investing in Bitcoin in a long time, then you can start buying from that 20k. But here is what I see. If now in every market there is a breakout, right? We are likely going to see a retest that can get to this point. The reason being because of this breakout that we had from the downtrend, retest of this downtrend trend line, right? So we could likely see something that could drive us down to this point. The reason being that like this. Okay, here's what I see. Let's go back to the weekly chart, right? Let's go back to the weekly chart. Now this is the weekly chart. Now we just had the first. Now let's take a measured move, right? A measured move. From this point to this point, right, is the first bull before we had a retraction, right? Then the next wave we had was almost an equal measured move to the upside, right? Almost an equal measured move. That's we're respecting this our sellers line that is also moving ahead with the trend, right? So and that's exactly where me I started shorting. Now from that point, we had a dip, exactly the same move, equal measurement. And that's very important because it's like we completely got pulled back from the second wave, beginning of the second wave, and we are at that beginning right now. Now, if what we are having here is a monthly retest of this seller's line on this monthly chart, then we are going to have a target that is going to be twice this move, right? Why do I say so? So let's go back to that weekly chart. So we're going to have a target. Now, before we go there, before we make the measured move, here's where our seller's line is. So here it's around this area. So somewhere around here is what I see as a target, right? If it is a retest, because that's what I see happening. Why? Because of this three bar reversal. This three bar reversal can cause a bounce here that will get rejected here, and then we have that move down. That is what I see. But let me not jump into conclusion. Let me take you back to the weekly chart so that we're going to have a measured move, right? So if we're going to have the measured move and we got this rejection that put us back to this point, right? Now, exactly the same measurement, like I said. So let's pick estimated move, right? So you can see this point and we're down. Now, we're going to start this measurement from the point of rejection because this is after they pull back, this is the point where they move down started. So if I pick this is the first leg down. This is the first long leg down. Now, first leg never ends a down move. First leg never ends a down move. First leg never ends an up move, right? So just like here we had two leg, if we're going to have two leg, this is what we're going to get. Boom. To the same area. Sorry. To the same area that I talked about. Very close to around that 10K. Right? Around that 12K. So we're going to see something dragging us down to that 12K area if this turns out to be a retest. 12K is possible. I just pray we don't go below that. But we cannot break the last low here. Bitcoin cannot break $4,000. So, what this is a big opportunity for so many of us who are very patient. This is not the time to buy. And if you're stuck in this market, do wait. We're going to still have a bounce. I do still see this bounce. Now, this bounce is going to come mostly when we arrive around that 26K to 20K area that I said that we're going to have a move down to. Now, when we arrive at that point, we're going to get a bounce of something that is going to look like this. This is what I see happening. I see something that's going to come like this, and then we have something like this and down, right? That's what I see before we move that down. But that will be our opportunity to get out of this market. I do see something going down. That is if we get here and we get here and get rejected. So here's the move. When we arrive at 20K, it's an opportunity to start actually adding to your long position. Yes, because we have start arriving at a good price, right? So even if you drop at, but don't buy everything at once, but at least start buying some amount. Now, when we bounce and we get to this resistance, now reaction to this resistance, remember that is our seller's line, right? That's pointing down. That is exactly where the collision is. Now, reaction here is going to tell us if we're going to dive down or not. Because if we get to 20K and we get a double top here and here, then it's going to bring us down. It's going to bring us down to a point that we're going to break this support. That's what I see. Long time, long time, long time, June, July. Now, this I pray doesn't last for the rest of 2021. But this is not the time to start buying yet. Because I know a lot of people will be like, we just broke 28K and we just bounced above 31K. It's still not a good reason to jump into this market right now. And whatever affects Bitcoin is going to affect altcoins. So I'm likely going to make some videos on other altcoins as well. I'm going to do my best on that. But please, if we are patient, we're going to get a good buy on Bitcoin. In my opinion, it is just an opinion. You are likely to still do what you feel is right here. But this market do still have one leg down. And I do see 20K coming. And I will be very patient for 12K. I do see it coming. 16K is possible. Depending on how 16K react, will depend. That's this point, right? Depending on how this point reacts, will depend if we're going to touch this point. Depend. Depends. Like I said, depend. So 20K is a good point to start buying. So I do see a good opportunity in that point, depending on the sell volume. Now I'm going to be updating this video over time, but not as still weekly charts that I'm going to use to update the video over time. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your likes.